Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we'll be reviewing the K2 Medium Jake Kuzik's Pro model. This board is available in 149, 152, 155, 157, 159, 154 wide, 158 wide, and 160 wide. This board features K2's twin cambered baseline, which is freestyle cam rocker. It's predominantly camber till right about here, then you get a little micro rocker zone out in the tip and the tail, just to make it easier to press with and a little catch free out in the tips, but very camber dominant. Put this board at Arapahoe Basin in the spring on a day that started off sunny and bluebird, and then like a storm squall came in and then it left. And the temps were kind of warm, the snow was fast, firm, chundery, lumpy, pretty much everything you could get. And I rode this board with my K2 Thraxis boots and my K2 Indy bindings. It's twin, so that means twin park flex. What you get is a little bit of play out in the tip and tail by those micro rocker zones, and then it progressively stiffens up through the middle with a little torsional flex. Overall, this board just felt dead and lifeless to me. It's kind of stiff, like it doesn't make sense that it doesn't press the way you want to with it. It's just not very playful, and it's mildly stable. I mean, like, you know, you get some chatter out in the tips and stuff, but this is really like an urban board that's designed for charging into a feature. It's not something for riding around on the mountain, in my opinion. This is one of those boards where you feel everything underfoot, but you don't get bucked around from it. It's not like it's good at dampening. Like, there's a little, but it's not overly damp, yet it's not lively. It's just fucking dead. When it comes to popping with this board, you have to be assertive and calculated with it. You need to know when to load it up, how much force you're going to put into it, and how it's going to pop. Basically, there's not a lot of rebound with this board. Almost all of it comes from the rider, and that carries over to jumps. I found that the lip of the jump was doing more work than the actual board. It just wasn't having that snap that I would want for a board to hit jumps, which kind of makes sense because if you look at Jake Kuzik, he hits rails, he doesn't hit jumps. So there's that, but basically this thing just, it's kind of dead feeling when it comes to pop. Basically, this board didn't flex and lock into a butter. It just sort of rolls up on that little micro rocker in the nose and tail, and that's it. This is a board you gotta fucking manhandle to butter, and the same can be said with jibbing. It's a board that you're gonna put all your effort into, and it's still not even gonna press that deep. It's a board that barely lifts up. It's a lot of fucking work. I was just not impressed with it. Edge to edge, this board was somewhat nimble, but when you're actually trying to carve with it, it was so lackluster. You're putting so much effort into it to drive it, and you're not getting a lot out of return. It's really only good at short, tight, quick setup turns. I mean, anything else, it kind of gets the job done, but it's not mind-blowing, which is really sad because K2 has so many awesome side cuts on so many other boards. This one was just very lackluster. So who's this board for? Jake Kuzik, maybe one of his fanboys or someone that just wants a slightly narrower plankish type board. This thing was a letdown. I had high hopes for this board after seeing it on paper, looking at the catalog. This thing could have been a spiritual successor to the K2 Jib Pan. Then I got on it and it just fucking, it sucked. It was such a fucking letdown. It's kind of plankish. It's kind of dead. It's there. It's a snowboard. It'll do snowboard things. It doesn't do them well at all. It was just such a fucking letdown. Comparable boards: the Solomon 6-piece, the Nitro Shtick, the Lobster Heldor Pro. Yeah, basically boards that suck all got lumped into this one. This has been my review of the K2 Medium. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Don't buy one. It's just not a good board. Anyways, leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we've got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you'd really like to support us and you really want to see us just giving more honest, real reviews instead of just stroking the ego of whoever's in marketing and sucking the dick of the catalog, Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a whole video over there that explains it better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.